Would you mind going into Bold and just kind of giving our listeners sort of the core message that you're trying to get across with it?
Bold is really a book that's written for entrepreneurs and organizations looking to level up their game. And what it looks at is something that's fascinating and amazing, which is for the first time in history, individuals actually have the power to change the world today, which is not the way things normally were, right? Go back 1,000 years, it was kings and pharaohs who could change the world. If you go back 100 years, it was robber barons and industrialists. 20 years ago, it was still large corporations and big governments. And today, it's all of us. And Bold looks at the 3 reasons those things are true. And the asteroid hitting the Earth on the cover is the argument that these changes are happening. They're already here. And what happened with the meteor impact that wiped out the dinosaurs is it was a paradigm shift that cleared out the old and made way for the new. And that's sort of what we're looking at here.
Yeah, I love that analogy. You refer to, I suppose, large companies as these large and lumbering. They're not nimble. They're not very quick. A lot of them, they can't adapt to the changing circumstances that we find ourselves in. And of course, that's what happened with the dinosaurs. Asteroid came in, massive impact, and then that cleared the way for mammals, small and nimble. These innovators, and you talk about the entrepreneurial spirit there. And that's kind of how you open your book, which I really love that metaphor. Now, you start off kind of talking about this difference between a really good example of this, and that's with Kodak. Would you mind going into that a little bit and how that sort of clarifies the heart of what you're getting at?
The first thing you have to understand is exponential growth, right? Because what's happening right now is a dozen of the most potent technologies we've ever seen are accelerating exponentially. And the brain, which evolved in a local and linear environment, and we now live in a global and exponential world, right, doesn't process exponential change very well. So it's very deceptive, right? If I take 30 exponential steps from where I am right now, I'm 30 feet away when I'm done. If I take 30 exponential steps, so linear steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? If I take 30 of those, I'm 30 feet away. If I take 30 exponential steps, those are doublings. 1 becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 16. Take 30 of those, I end up 1 billion feet away, or essentially orbiting the globe 26 times. It's a huge difference, and the brain can't process this difference, showing up all over technology. We see it in Moore's Law, which is essentially your computers get twice as fast every 18 months while staying the same price. This same kind of doubling is showing up in nanotechnology, in 3D printing, in bionics, in robotics, in dozens of the most powerful technologies the world has ever seen, right? So as a result, first of all, entrepreneurs can kind of build new technologies on the backs of these things. This is the good news for entrepreneurs. The bad news for companies like Kodak is this change is disruptive. And big companies tend to have immune systems. They're built for safety and security and stability often, right? So rapid change is very disquieting to them. Kodak literally invented the digital camera. And what's even crazier is not only did they invent the digital camera, they also created Hendy's Law, which is the exponential growth law that governs megapixels per dollar, which is essentially what drives growth in digital cameras, right? So the writing was just on the wall for Kodak. They literally put it there themselves. But because digital technology, they had a film and chemical and paper business, basically, right? And they couldn't take the digital camera seriously. They looked like a toy. They didn't understand exponential growth and how quickly this toy was going to grow into something real. They were worried it was going to disrupt their business, right? Their immune system reacted, and they shelved it. Other people developed the digital camera, and Kodak filed for bankruptcy.
If what you've heard on Flow Research Collective Radio has been helpful, please consider doing us a solid and leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening to this. Reviews help us connect to a wider audience so we can get these peak performance principles out to more people.